into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Love this song every time.
I know, it's good.
Hey guys, welcome to another AfterBuzz After Show for Wet Hot American Summer. We are already on episode 4. I can't believe it, halfway through.
That's crazy.
I am one of your hosts, JJ Jurgens, and I'm joined here tonight by...
Hello everyone, I'm Hayley Clover. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Hayley Clover.
And you can follow me at JJ Jurgens on Twitter and JurgensJJ on Instagram. And follow along with our conversation at hashtag ABTVWHAS.
Oh, whew, that's a mouthful.
It sure is. At least we didn't spell out the whole Wet Hot American Summer.
Right, exactly.
But, yeah, so we'd love to hear what you guys have to say and read your comments and feedback from the show. No guests tonight for the first time.
Yeah.
So, which is nice, though. We get to dive into this episode a little bit more because there was lots of great fun moments. So let's first start talking about Professor Newman. Poor guy's having tough luck. He just wants to get tenure, and he's just struggling.
Well, I was wondering when they were going to bring him back because he was so funny in the movie. And, you know, how they were going to set up his whole storyline. And I thought it was perfect. It's, you know, in the movie, they talk about how she's going to write a letter over to the dean. Oh, well, yeah, give me his address. Okay, and then she writes it all down. And then, you know, so it was funny to see the actual dean and, like, what he was trying to do and why he got fired. So I thought he was funny. He's a really funny guy.
Yeah, I think so
Professor
too.
Newman.
And I liked seeing him just like reach his boiling point, you know. And
Yeah.
I mean, they get in the punching, the kicking fight, and he gets beat down. But then I did his one of his quotes where he calls the dean a fuck dit of a shit butt.
Yeah.
They
They have the best like swear names for people.
Yeah.
Like all of the characters. There's like, it's not like a common. They put common swear words with like weird phrases
Yeah.
to make like, I don't know. It's really funny.
No,
Like,
I love it.
You
I
can
know.
pretty much swear and say anything, and that's what they're doing.
Exactly, and I like it because it's like when you get so frustrated like that, like stuff like that just comes out of your mouth. It doesn't make sense. I like that. It's just like, oh yeah, you fucked it up, dick of a shit butt. Like, okay.
I love when the dean offers Professor Newman a scotch, and he's like, oh, thank you, but I usually don't try to drink scotch before lunch. And then the other guy, what was his name?
He was
He has that
Brautfart, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, do I see some sarcasm in your voice, you know, whatever. And then they're like, oh wow, and then they start getting into Shakespeare all of a sudden. And Professor Newman's like, oh, I've gotten in. I'll say the next, you know, little line. And then they're like, you really need to calm down. Poor guy.
I felt sorry for him
Poor
though
guy.
too. Yeah, just trying all he could.
Yeah. And then they have the random lady that's his like friend, professor friend. They don't give her a name or anything. I have no idea who she is, but she's like, yeah, you know, just keep trying. You just got to play the game.
Yeah.
And then she's the one that gives him the listing for that house.
Yeah.
The realtor.
Yeah, she tries to make him. We all have days like this. It happened. Like.
Right, like, go just rent a house at this lake
Yeah.
and everything will be fine.
Yeah, but we're glad we see it gets him. For now, he's finally by the camp, so we'll get more interactions from him, which will be a lot of fun.
Exactly.
So we also have in this episode, Gail discovers the truth about Jonas. So she goes and she seeks out Jeff, and Jeff with middle name Jeff. And I do like that Jonas's name.
I loved that, by the way. Oh, please call me by my middle name. Oh, okay, what's that?
Yeah.
It's also Jeff. She's like, Jeff it is.
Yeah, they're awesome.
That stuff just makes me laugh so much because I'm like, God, it's so stupid.
Yeah.
It's just so funny.
Yeah, and I like with Jonas because his he was Jonas. What is his full name? Jonas
Jurgensen.
Jurgensen. Yeah,
And
which I
then
should know because yeah.
Yeah. And then he's oh my God, it's just
that's what I'm getting confused. His other name was Gene Jenkinson. Yeah.
Thank you. Jonas Jurgens and Gene Jenkins.
I love all these names because being Jamie Jurgens, I feel like maybe
Yeah.
my mom knows these writers. You know, I mean,
Right?
something Jamie, Jolene, Jurgens. I could have been. Yeah,
That's your middle name?
It is.
Jolene?
It is.
Love that name, but oh my God, you're JJJ.
Yeah.
I did not know
And then
that.
there's the other JJ in the show. So yeah, I think I like the show a lot.
Wow,
Yeah,
that is
it's-
a mouthful.
Yeah, I get everybody asking first is what does JJ stand for? And then are you from the
Is
South?
everyone
or-
else in your family J's also?
No.
It wasn't like that kind
No,
of thing. My family, my cousin's side, they are all J's. Jesse, Jody, Jenny. My aunt's Jean. My uncle's Jim. And then they had a dog named Jasmine. Like, it was
Oh,
all
wow.
J's. My mom's Joan. And then she had kids and was like, screw that.
Yeah.
Haley and Ryan. I'm like,
Good
getting
for her.
away from that. Yeah.
Yeah, it always cracks me up when families do that. It's
Right.
funny.
I'm like, what? Then you got to think about more J names. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that will not be me.
Yeah, me either. Although my brother's name was after a tennis racket, so I don't know.
Babylon.
Nope, Tad Davis, the older
Wow.
racket. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Well, that's great.
Anyway.
We digress.
We do. But yeah, so I like that she's finally kind of discovering that there's something off with him. She's feeling like there's something that she doesn't know.
Yeah.
She goes
It's
to
funny
him.
when she, because she's eavesdropping and hearing,
Mm-hmm.
you know, some of the conversation that he was having earlier. And she must have seen when they throw the stick at him, because she then tries it thinking he's going to, like, hurry up and turn into his military, like, defensive mode. And she just totally whacks him in the face. And she's like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I thought you were going to, like, grab that and spin it around and do something.
Yeah, that
They
was
played
awesome.
that
His
well.
they did. His reaction afterward was great too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, like you said last episode, he always has to remind himself, like, who he is and who because he was kind of just like, hi, Gail.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you.
My fiance.
That's right. And on this one, he had like a moment when he's like, "Oh yeah, I couldn't forget. You know, I saw you. You were the one." And he said a certain kind of dance.
hustle.
Yeah. And then she's like, "No,
It was the electric slide.
Yeah. So, do you think that he actually was really in love with the other girl who was doing the other one, or do you think he just like?
I think he's just out of
making
it.
stuff up altogether. Okay.
Yeah, I think he just honestly, like, is so confused at this point.
Yeah.
He's like two different people trying to remember who
Yeah.
he was in his past life, and
That's
you
what I
know,
wondered.
now who he is as Gene. So no, I think he's just kind of like,
Yeah, that's how I took it the first time, was just like, oh, he just was confused about what, you know, can barely even remember her name, let alone what dance it was. But then I thought when I watched the second time, I had a moment of, oh, I wonder if he was actually like, oh, I think I actually like the girl doing the hustle. Now I was engaged to the wrong one. But yeah, it was probably just the other way.
that's funny. Well, hey, no, this is the kind of show that you can
Yeah.
interpret things
Yeah.
really however you want, because it's like,
There's no
whatever.
room,
There's
yeah.
no interpretation. They just throw it in there to make you laugh. And
Yeah.
It's just whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it'll be fun to see as more of Jonas comes out.
Yeah, I know. I
which is
keep
gonna happen.
wanting to say things that he's done because I finally have finished the entire season. I couldn't hold off anymore. I just watched all. I think I had 3 left when we talked last time, and I was just like, I'm gonna finish them.
I think I have 2 still left because
Oh,
for me it's
okay.
hard too because I want to keep saying stuff and I'm trying to not get ahead for you viewers out there. And
I
it's
know.
just too hard.
Because he has some funny moments in the last episode too. So you have to keep watching.
All right. Okay.
Everyone
well.
will have to keep watching.
Yes. All right. So one of the big moments or the big storylines in this episode, we have the auditions. So I thought that was pretty funny because we have. I mean, the whole reason they're doing the auditions is just because the one guy, saved the other 2, and the other 2 are fine. They could go on with the show.
Amy
but,
Poehler.
Yeah. Yeah, she was awesome.
I keep forgetting she's 16, and she says it a couple times in the episode because the director keeps hitting on her, wants to take her back to his cabin, and
Claude.
Claude, and do it, and just have sex with her. And she says at the end of the episode, I can't go to New York with you. I'm 16, and our relationship is highly inappropriate. And but then she says something like, "You're gonna make an underage girl very happy one day," and he goes, "Thank you so much. That's really nice of you." The whole thing is ridiculous, but she is so funny how she looks up to Claude and really is taking his direction, and then she gets a chance when Andy comes in, and she's just like this. She gives this like perfect
Yes.
monologue. I don't know. I just love Amy Poehler in general, and that whole character.
I agree.
And the theater, I was in, I did a lot of theater and musicals and stuff when I was little and loved it. But some of those stereotypes of the kids that are auditioning are so beyond perfect. It's like I was just crying, especially the one that comes in and starts auditioning.
Logan
right?
St. Bogan, him, yes.
Another great name. I want to know who the guy is that just makes up all these names. Yes. So true. Everyone knows a Logan St. Bogan.
And like in his, if it ever feels like we're dragging, we're not. It's just that type of tune. Like, and he's like everything, and then he just belts out this. I agree, it was
good.
hilarious. Yeah,
But
and he had his little dance moves, and
that was the best part. He's like doing all this stuff at the end.
Yeah.
Or when he gets cast with Katie.
Oh yeah.
And then Paul Rudd comes in, and he's Andy, and he's like, "Am I too late to?" And he writes this ridiculous song called "Champagne Eyes."
Yes.
And performs, and they're all like, "Wow, like he's really good.
Yeah.
He's really good." And then they cast him, and the kid's like, "What? You can't! You just cast me." And I love when he says to Amy Poehler, "Fuck you," and she goes, "Fuck you!" Just right.
Me too. I loved it too, and I love that he's in the middle of this huge thank you acceptance speech. For getting the part.
I'd
when
love to
he
think my
walks
mom and
on.
dad, and then it kills me when he names off their actual first names.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. That whole scene is just great.
I like to see, let's talk a little bit about the moment before Andy decides that he's actually going to audition for this. So he sees Katie on the steps, and she's practicing, ready for her audition.
Yes.
And I love, like, his first line is just like, "Hey, I'm going to come watch you ride horses later."
Yeah, is that okay? And she's
So we can
like,
see her boobs bounce
Right,
and, like,
exactly. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Those are those things, like, I would never think to write that. Like, those kind of things just amaze me.
Well,
It's
and then,
just so funny.
yeah. So she's trying to convince him to try out for it. Or first, because he's like, "Oh, that sounds terrible. I hope you don't get it." Like, usually you would say, "Great, good luck, hope break a leg,"
Yeah,
whatever.
that
No,
sounds
not
like
him.
a drag.
Yeah.
I really hope you don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, but then what convinces him is that she says, "Oh, well, the leads have a huge, juicy kiss at the end." And then
Yeah.
he's all of a sudden caught the acting bug.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
he's a
she
slut.
says, well, he makes another comment to her once he actually has auditioned and got the part, and he says, "Looks like we're going to be having some serious neck
hard,
time."
I think I have that hard necking or something. Yeah.
And she's like, "Andy, I wish you'd realize
hard
everything
necking.
wasn't about making out. Like, I hope you learn to take something seriously at some point."
But come on, how many people when you're in acting class, those guys that just wanted to do the scenes, they had the kissing scenes, they were all about the make-out scenes.
Right. It was either
a
that
lot
or they
of-
were gay.
Yeah.
It was one or the other.
In the class,
in the
yeah.
theater. Yeah.
It's true.
Speaking of gay,
Yes.
or creative.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
You could
yes,
say-
yes.
I don't
love
know
those
if
too.
you know if you're creative or
Yeah.
not.
Yes, I'm very
But
creative.
Bradley Cooper is another one of my favorites. I mean, I keep saying this, and I'm sorry, but everyone is my favorite.
Yeah.
I'll just put that out there now. I just love the show. But he, it's kind of more in the beginning, when he's leaving to go try on the zoot suit, and he says, adieu,
Yeah.
and she tries to kiss him, Amy Poehler, and he just goes, and it gets all awkward and, like, pushes her face, and he's like, adieu. And then just walks off stage. And she's like, "That's just something we do. It's like something we have."
Yeah, she plays those because we've seen this now a couple of times, when they tried in the park and he's like, "Oh no, meal lunchtime," or and like it's so great to see her reaction ever just deflate, every time that he but she covers it so well.
Right,
then.
right. Oh man.
But now
he's
we
just so funny.
see-
He's playing such a good awkwardly in the closet
Yeah.
gay guy. Because in the movie he's out there, we see that whole sex scene in the movie. So we're getting the before, and I think it's really funny that they meet because they're in a zoot suit together and they're in this costume together. It's just it's really cute. It's funny.
Yeah, and it's cute to see them, the giggly, like excited and like, "Whoa, we should try it on now." And like,
Right.
they're fun
They
to
have some
watch.
good banters back and
Yeah.
forth too. When Amy Poehler says places, and they're like talking, and she said, "I said places," and they're like, "We heard you, thank you."
Yeah.
And then oh man, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting their names. Not Bradley Cooper's character, but
McKinley.
Thank you. He's like, "Well, technically, we already are in a place," and she's just like, "Okay." I don't know. They're just
Yeah,
They're
they're
funny.
great.
yeah.
I agree. Anything else with the auditions? I think that was.
The girl that
Yeah.
sings Twinkle Twinkle
Oh, yeah,
Little
yeah,
Star
yeah.
is great.
And yes,
I've never
I'm
heard
glad
that
you brought
song sung so beautifully. And they're and the way he's like, you don't have it. You suck. He's like, I really hope you could do something else well because you're never going to make it in show business. I mean, it just goes off.
Uh-huh.
That was awesome.
I was dying at that too.
Great.
Dying, but then it just makes you cringe because we've all been through those auditions where you just have the biggest asshole on the other side of of the desk. So I like. This part makes me feel for actors too because he's just like, even when he liked Logan St. Vogan, he's like, oh, you never let him know it. You know, it's just like, come on, you don't have to
Just
treat
normal,
actors.
right.
But I agree, I loved it. He just, because I thought the same thing when I first heard her. I was like, oh man, she's awesome. And then when he does that giant rant, you're like, oh.
But it's funny, and he plays a great part.
Oh, he
Very
does.
good.
He really does. Yeah, in his giant blazer.
Yeah,
that
right.
blazer is so big.
Oh man, yeah, he's funny.
Yeah, we didn't have this as one of our main topics, but before we go into our final one, I just want to bring
Let's
up
talk
too.
about it.
Yeah, let's talk about who we had here last weekend. So we had a little more Kevin and Amy action tonight with the tetherball scene.
Yeah.
So
He's so cute. And you know what? When I talked to him last week, and then as I watched this episode, I was like, wow, they're very similar.
Yes,
To me, he's very similar to his character. I mean, I think he's a little less shy in person, but he was still shy in person. And really cute, really nice. Seemed very innocent,
sweetheart.
polite guy.
Yeah.
And it seemed kind of just like his character. Like when the boys laugh at her when she hits herself in the head with the tetherball, and he's like, "Don't laugh at her. It's not funny." I see him being like that in real life.
I agree, and go so far as he keeps hitting himself over and over, with it. And
The poor girls call him a loser.
I know.
But he was just being nice.
I know.
Girls.
Yeah. I like the Amy look back, but yeah. That's the kind of guy there is, standing up for her, defending her. But yeah, I completely agree with you. He seemed just the same on there as he was in here. Just so sweet.
We gave a spoiler alert out the first week about those two.
Yeah.
She's a little tease.
I haven't seen that section yet.
Well,
she kind of.
JJ, now you gotta watch.
Well, she kind of made me not want to because I didn't want to see her crush his soul. But
yeah, it's still. They still obviously end up making everything, funny. But yeah, her look, like how she looks back at him all the time, and then that happens, and you're like,
yeah.
Come on, girl, what do you want?
Oh.
No, but I liked how it ended. It was
Amy.
good.
All
Yeah,
right.
you'll like it.
Okay. All right. Well, another one that I really like is Mr. John Hamm, and we see a lot more of him this episode.
The Hamaconda.
Yes. So we see him go the Falcon into the convenience store and open up a can.
I should have looked this up. The actor that plays the cashier, the old guy, he's in so many things, and I meant to look up his name because he plays that same old kind of like out of it old guy. I swear to God, in every single part he's ever in.
I'll look him up too.
I'll look it up for next week.
Okay.
But yeah, because he just made me laugh. He's so fun. Aren't you gonna pay for anything? But he's like the same, I swear, in every part. That was that was a ridiculous scene with those kids that come in
Punks.
on
I like how he makes them fall with just one swift kick of his leg and takes them all out.
Falcon.
Yeah, Falcon
I
can
love
do
that
that.
he explains too that he's President Reagan's personal assistant.
I like that too. And I also liked how you could barely hear the one girl, like, when she's on the ground, go, "Oh, my uterus." Like, it was.
I didn't hear that.
Oh, you have to listen again because it's. I caught it the second time I watched it, but it's
No
really,
way.
really quiet. Like, yeah, right after all laying down there, then you hear her kind of like barely get that out.
That's the
But she
perfect one
says
girl in
that,
the group.
yeah.
You got to bring up your uterus.
Or yeah.
Because listen, when you're the only girl in a group of guys, they better know that you've got a uterus.
Exactly. Oh yeah, so I like that. And that's what I feel like you could constantly do that with this show is find little things that you miss, like the first time,
sure.
or yeah. So we'll have to keep watching it over and over and over again.
I could. They're so short.
Yeah.
They're just like little treats.
Yeah,
Here and
exactly.
there.
Oh my gosh.
The director's name?
No, Beth and Craig. Beth.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, camp director's name.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. My goodness.
It's
late
late here. We've all
call,
worked
yeah.
a full day.
Exactly.
I got myself to the gym, and
I'm
like,
just back from vacation, so I'm a little.
Well, that's even more of an excuse to be out of it. Yeah.
He got kicked off a couple planes because we had failures, but it's all, just one. Anyway, yeah. So they are. She's on to the fact that that Weird Al, who is playing Brazen, isn't quite. Yeah, something's a little off with his face there. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. What is he? He says, yes, thank you kindly.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you kindly.
Yeah. She's finally like,
And then he
Yeah.
opens his face. I love that Weird Al is
Yeah,
Weird
me
Al.
too.
Like, what a random cameo to bring in.
And I love that he's
But awesome.
hypnotizing the kids because, like, I
You're a
remember,
constipated
like,
wiener dog.
yeah, all the things they do. But I remember in high school that was a big thing for
Oh,
our
yeah.
proms and stuff for people to come in and hypnotize
We had a
everybody.
hypnotist come a couple times to my high school, and it was like you bought tickets and went back that night. It was like a big show.
When you think about it, what a weird thing to like bring
Do you think
into
it's
a bunch
actually
of.
true? Like, one of my friends went up there, and he said that he's totally hypnotized, and the hypnotist said at the end that he won't really remember what happened until he drinks water. That was his whole thing. So, of course, when he was done, everyone was like, go to the water fountain,
Yeah.
whatever, drink the water. And he said that he, like, honestly was hypnotized, but I was like, God, I don't know. I feel like you have to really believe that it works for it to work.
Yeah.
Because if it was me, I'd probably sit up there like, this guy's insane. I'll just act out whatever he's telling me to do.
I agree. I have a hard time with it too, and I felt like most of the kids in our high school, that's what they did.
Yeah.
But I know that some people really believe in it to like heal certain
Well, they do it
ailments
for
and things.
weight loss and
Yeah.
smoking, and so I mean,
Stress
they've
and-
made a big business out of
yeah.
it. Something must be.
Yeah. But I'm with you.
Working.
I think my mind would constantly trying to resist it.
Yeah.
So I think you do have to like let it go and be open.
Right.
Yeah. So we see one of our favorite parts too is when at the end of this one they're running away, but they can't run fast.
You call that fast? Run faster. And then they're still like there, and I love that he goes to pick up his gun, but there's a banana and an apple, and he picks up the banana first, and then puts it down, then picks up the apple, then finally picks up the gun, and then he's like pointing at them
Right.
for like, I mean,
And the red spot's right on their back.
and
the
then
target
he hits
is there.
hits the water pipe.
Yeah.
That's just where the writing again. It's just, I think I'm really enjoying these episodes more than the movie. And maybe it's because I've seen the movie 100,000 times now, and this is just new. But I just feel like the writing is so on point
I agree.
with these episodes.
I agree. It's just really fun and just really like new and I just
Even the way and the characters and the actors are obviously executing this so well. Like even the way some of them just like laugh, like when they're watching the hypnotist and they're like, just so over the top that makes you just laugh even more.
yeah.
They're just, it's just very, very good.
That's definitely what I think like sells it is the fact that they're willing to do that, even though the fact that they're playing probably 20 years younger than they are, and we all believe it and go with it, and
Right.
it's just like I think that's really a testament to how fearless they are and how willing they are to just like play it and go big and have
I
fun.
would pay to be a fly on the wall at those tapings. Like, it has to be so much fun.
Yeah. I mean,
And
this-
they have to do it more than once because I couldn't sit there and not screw up one of those scenes.
Yeah, no, this would be like the best, like a camp to go to. Just go and watch them perform this,
In
It would be
one
awesome.
day.
Yeah.
You only have to be there a day.
Yeah, true. It seems like that's how most of them cranked out their scenes, in like
Right.
1 or 2 days for a lot of these
Crazy.
people. Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. All right, anything else from this episode?
Oh, man.
Like,
Fighting the government, is that the next episode?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get
Yeah,
them
this
all.
one. Yeah, this one ends on them firing right at the end.
Okay, so
firing
next
at them.
week.
Yeah,
Mr. Sarah makes a cameo.
I do like that the Falcon was buying a can of Skull and 2 combs. Like that was his list at the convenience store.
Yeah.
Yeah. I looked up news and gossip. I didn't see much out there. Did you see anything?
No.
No.
I think it's hard to now once they've already put out the entire season
Exactly.
with these Netflix series. It's a little bit
Yeah.
difficult.
There was a couple good reviews and reviewers that were really liking the series. But we'll keep an eye out for new stuff that's coming out.
Yeah. I've been working at work on production for the Emmys coming up in September.
Ah.
And I, even one of the executive producers said that they love the show. I wonder if this will ever get any kind of comedy nod next year. because it'll be eligible next year.
Yeah.
But
That'd be great.
I would think so. Even just for, it would be considered a comedy series.
Yeah.
Got my vote.
Mine too. We're in. Only other gossip I would say is that I would love to hear from you guys if there's any camps that you know of that you've been to that you've liked, like as an adult. I will say on my trip to Austin, I did go to one day camp. So we kind of went to this camp. It's called Travasa. So it's more of like a spa resort type of thing. But the reason why I went, because you could just go get a massage and hang out at the pool and the spa if you wanted. Or they had a lineup of like archery, hatchet throwing. They had a prickle pear challenge course where you went up these ropes and then you had to go past this swing. It was kind of a toned down version of American Gladiator.
It's like a high rope course.
Fun. And then there was a tightrope, and then at the bottom you did a zip line. And then what else did they have?
Did you do any
They did
of them?
horseback riding. Yes, I did that one. I did that challenge. I went horseback riding on an amazing horse named Hydro. It was awesome.
How cute.
And then they had aqua Pilates, which was
cool.
It was interesting. It was definitely kind of like a flashback to the 80s a little bit. It was awesome.
No,
the
that's
teacher had I kind of felt like I was in this camp. She had her pink headband and I'm not kidding you. It was
wristbands.
She didn't have wristbands, but the high ponytail, she was awesome.
That's awesome.
Brazilian accent.
I was weirdly good at archery when I went to camp. It was like a little Katniss Everdeen.
There you go. All right.
Yeah, but who knows now?
I'm sure you could pick it right back up.
Yeah,
I wanted
maybe.
to do that one, but wasn't in the right time
We'll have
slot.
to go back. We'll
All
find
right.
it here.
There we go.
Yeah.
We'll do a little AfterBuzz excursion. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us again. One more time, where can everybody follow you at?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Hayley Clover.
And I'm at JJ Jurgens on Twitter, JurgensJJ on Instagram, and at tomgirl.tv. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you again here next week at the same time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.